a lot of brands now, I think in 24, are really thinking about like, we need to make a lot of content to be at all successful. You guys have been at that game for quite a few years now, and it's kind of proven that it does work.
Yeah.
But what I think a lot of people don't realize is the amount of work that goes into the consistency, right, in order to make that happen. Can you just sort of explain to me how much work actually goes into producing the sheer amount of content you guys do, from the partnership stuff to the restaurant stuff to the personal brand stuff, etc.? Because I feel like everyone's obviously building profiles to push brand, and you founder-led from a brand perspective, because I guess Trip is a little bit founder-led in that way and that content side. But for you guys, it's worked, and it's working within the restaurant scene and also the food scene at the moment. But how much work really goes into that?
Yeah, I mean, a lot of work. And look, I can't, again, I'm probably speaking more on behalf of Tom, but I see from a brain power perspective how much work gets into him just doing like video after video. Like some days he's doing like 8 videos, which doesn't sound like, oh, but you're kind of just, you're just cooking kind of thing. And it's like, no, but you're having to like give like the energy behind the camera, and then you know, like think of the things to say and etc. And you just see it, like at the end of it, he's absolutely wrecked. Yeah. And so I used to give him a load of shit about when he missed like deadlines for certain things, which I would mainly do. I would know that I maybe got a couple of weeks to go and do it, but I always give him a deadline before because he's late on everything. And so, and I'd have to, sometimes I'm just like, okay, do you know what, fair enough. Because it takes a huge amount out of you. And we have, like, at the moment, with All Things Butter, we have one of our marketing people, girl called Emma. She, like, I'd say 50% of her role is around, like, just getting great recipe content for socials, for All Things Butter. And it's like, it's a real slog, like, to get good, because you get sent loads, but some of it you're like, nah, it's not quite right. And you've got to really ensure that what's coming is the stuff that you're putting out is stuff that you really like, you're proud to be on there, or and sometimes we have put some more like below par things on All Things Butter, and I'm like, you know what, next time it's like, doesn't matter how much work's gone into it, let's just park it.
Question for you that I think a lot of people who are brand side might have is, what do you think is more important right now, the consistency or the creative idea?
Consistency. Really?
Yeah, that's the kind of the biggest needle kind of mover, as opposed to like having the best ideas.
I think, look, there has to be a level that you hit from a quality perspective. Yeah. But I'm a massive advocate of the 80-20 rule when it comes to that, in particular when you want to be getting out a lot of content.
Just explain that rule.
So 80-20 is like 100% is obviously the best video you've ever made. 80% is like a good video. But that, to get to 0 to 80 may take 2 days. To get from 80 to 100 can take 5, 6, 7 days. Because those small, it's like charging a battery. It's like going from 0 to 80 is actually really, really quick. Yeah. Because there's loads of, I don't know what the scientific terminology is, but there's essentially loads of opportunity within the battery that they can charge it. Yeah. But then actually to get from 80 to 20 takes significantly longer than it does actually to get from 0 to 80. I remember Elon Musk said something about it with the chargers. And for me, is like, put out content at 80%. As long as there is like, you've hit the brief and you are happy with it, then from a consistency perspective, it's all about gaining momentum. This is purely on socials. Yeah.
But like, just how you guys look at it for all things.
Yeah, you have to we have to be doing like 3 videos a week. Tom has, like the series, Tom was like one of the first, I don't think he was the first because everyone's done series before, but like one of the first to really see
This is how All Things Butter started, right? It started by him building a series.
And he did 28 butters in 30 days. And he gained like 1.5 million followers in 28 days.
So it happened because he used to do it at a previous place that he worked, right? At the Dorchester. Yeah. So he did it there, and then he just wanted to make a series, and then...
Well, he was just really good at quailing, because at the Dorchester, one of his roles at the Dorchester was, I think it was a burnt butter. Tom's probably going to tell me that this isn't the case. It wasn't a burnt butter, but I think it was a burnt butter and bread was like an entree that would go out. And Tom's, at one point, literally, his job was the quinella. So he would just quinel on the plate, quinel on the plate, quinel on the plate for like hours and hours. And that's why he's so good at quinelling. And so...
Consistency pays off again.
And it wasn't it wasn't originally a series. It was just a video of him. He tells a different story. It's nearly the same, but from what I remember is that we were in the studio and he was meant to be doing a content day. I think he was pretty hungover, and he was meant to be making like a bigger dish, something which would take a couple of hours.
Yeah.
And he was like, it's wild garlic season. I'm just going to make a wild garlic butter and just have it on bread. And that's it. Because it's going to take me like 5 minutes to make. And he did the video. And that video got like 3.5, 4 million views. And at the time, I think he had like 150,000 followers on Instagram.
Yeah.
100,000 on TikTok. And that was by far his most viewed video. And so from that, I think he then did one more. And this wasn't the series. This was just two of them. And
he was like, let's feed the beast.
Really, really well. And he was like, okay, like, let's see. I'm going to do now something.
There was no plans to start a butter brand at this point.
No.
You were literally just like...
No. I wish I could say that I was a genius and go on, let's do this and let's...
Are you making content for Tom's pages, or is this for the restaurant?
No, this is just Tom's pages. This is pre-restaurant. This is about 6 months before the restaurant opened. And so this is when we were in the studio, and Tom then he just goes to me. It's like, I'm going to do, because he got maybe 50,000 followers overnight from that one video. So he was like, all right, I'm going to do a video every day now for 30 days. And he missed maybe 2 or 3 days. Maybe it was 26 videos, but he did a lot of videos. And he went from like 150,000 followers to 750,000 followers on TikTok, on Instagram, 100,000 followers to 600,000 followers on TikTok in 30 days. And so then he just carried on doing it and doing it and doing it. But then there was then the balance of, okay, I am actually a professional chef who has worked in like Michelin kitchens. I was the head chef. It was like some big places like Mayfair, Notting Hill, etc. And so when we were opening the restaurant, there was a big worry that people just thought it was going to be a butter restaurant.